Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at the Raspberry Pi, which is the most cheapest and the smallest computer one can afford. Raspberry Pi, as from its name, Pi, was developed using Python. It uses the open source Linux operating system distributions for its functioning. The Raspberry Pi Foundation was a product of the Broadcom company, which is a smartphone manufacturing company along with the University of Cambridge. It was a project meant for dedicated educational research only, but in recent times it has been used for more than just day-to-day computing. As days pass, the general public seems to dazzle the world with new innovative projects. Since its production, it has been upgraded to various models like P, A+, 2, 0, 0WH, 3V+, etc. The Raspberry Pi also has many competitors such as Banana Pi, Orange Pi, and BeagleBones. Despite all these competitions, Raspberry Pi manages to be at the top due to its fast updated online documentation and resources. Apart from the normal mode of use, which is connecting to a display and using it as a PC, it can also be used as a headless mode. The headless mode allows us to use the Raspberry Pi without connecting any display or peripherals to it. This can be done with the help of PuTTY on Windows or TightVNC server on the Raspberry Pi. This software allows us to use the Raspberry Pi as a network storage or even as a media device. Many use it to download big size torrent files. As the power consumption is roughly about 10% of a general PC, we can use it for long hours. We can access the Pi remotely with its IP address on a computer and let the Pi download the files. During the download process, we can turn off our PC and leave.
Let us take a look at the components of the Raspberry Pi 3 B+ module. As you can see, the Raspberry Pi 3 B+ provides us with 4 USB 2.0 ports to connect different peripherals to it. Just beside the ports, we have the Ethernet port over USB 2.0, which provides us with a maximum bandwidth of 300 Mbps, which is a lot for a small computer such as the Pi. Moving on to its side, we can notice the 3.5mm 4-pole composite video and audio output jack. And just beside it, we can observe the CSI camera port through which we can connect the Raspberry Pi camera module. Next to it, we can see the full-sized dedicated HDMI video output through which the display devices with HDMI input can be connected. Also, we can see the 5V over 2.5 ampere DC power input to power up the whole module. On the left side of the Pi, we can see the DSI display port through which we can connect small display devices. Just adjacent to it, we have the wireless LAN and Bluetooth module. The wireless LAN has a dual bandwidth of 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz, and the Bluetooth that is being used in this module B+ has a version of 4.2. Coming to the most important component of the Raspberry Pi, we have the Broadcom 64-bit quad-core CPU, which provides us with a clock rate of 1.2 GHz. The small chip that we can observe Between the CPU and the USB ports is the USB controller chip that connects the USB ports to the processor. The component that makes the Raspberry Pi unique is the extended 40-pin GPIO, which is used as an input or output for a wide range of projects. Now let's flip over the Raspberry Pi. Here we can see two components. The first component is the micro SD card slot, where we insert our SD card, which contains our operating systems and user data. And the chip-like structure that we can see is the 1 GB LPDDR2 SRAM.
So this is the installation phase for the Raspberry Pi 3 module. For that we need some prerequisites. These are micro SD card, HDMI cable, an adapter, a keyboard, a mouse, a display unit, an active internet connection, and the softwares which we will require to download. These are Raspbian and Etcher. I'm sure if we follow these steps, we can go through the phase easily. Step 1. First, connect the micro SD card to the computer with the help of the SD card adapter. Then go to the website www.raspberrypi.org and search the file Raspbian and download it. This will download the ISO image of the Raspbian operating system. Once the download is over, you will require to download another file, which is Etcher, on your computer. After the downloading process are done, I would urge you to format your SD card. It is a very vital step. Using Etcher, write the ISO image. After formatting the SD card, we have to write the ISO image of the Raspbian operating system onto the SD card. Once that's done, we can move on to the Raspberry Pi 3 module. Connect the keyboard and mouse in the displayed USB 2.0 ports. The Ethernet connection is optional. Now, connect the monitor with the help of the HDMI cable. If the monitor does not support the HDMI cable, don't worry. One can always use VGA to HDMI adapter. Connect the mini USB cable, the power cable, to the power socket of the Raspberry Pi 3 module. Insert the SD card in the given slot. After that, turn the power supply along with the display. Once the booting is complete, the Raspbian operating system is fully functional and can be used according to the user's demand.
Now let's look at how we can use the Raspberry Pi. It should be noted that the Raspberry Pi needs additional components to perform the tasks that are about to mention. The most simplest use of it is using as a desktop computer, though it may not provide a lot of computing power, but for its size it provides us with an impressive performance. One of the most common use of it is in emulating retro gaming like Nintendo, Atari, Game Boy, and lot more. It can also be used as a robot controller, since there are many great examples of it. Mentioning only a few won't be justified. With the help of a dedicated camera module, we can use the Raspberry Pi as a stop motion camera or as a time-lapse camera. Though this may need some time to get used to. Apart from all this, it can also be used for FM radio station, web server, making Twitter bots, network monitoring tool, smart TV, 3D printer, and lots more.